Welcome back. Hey, we're going to get to Amsterdam this time. Now, during this episode, you have to keep an eye on PJ's commentary, because she's going to say we're going to get there in one day, and we definitely aren't. And this is a very good example of how good she is with route planning, which is a backhanded compliment because she's not very good at it.
He forgets that he actually asked me to change the route and schedule, which is why I'm quite surprised that they did let him out of the old folks' home in Bonn. I'm very glad they did though, because this was kind of a fun adventure, and we're glad we can share it with you.
Well, we've been cycling for about 20 kilometres and we've been riding past oil refineries and chemical plants, which I love because you get that strong smell of sulphur. It just brings back all my working career and I really miss it. And I look at the refinery and I go, well, they're maintaining the pipes really well, the pipe rack's really clean, housekeeping looks really good. You know, I give them an A star, you know.
Don't worry, this isn't all industrial tourism. We've included a link to our path if you'd like a GPS map or navigation to do the same adventure yourself.
I swear to God, it's freezing, and we're in this weird park that PJ took us to, and there's like a 50-foot like stone man-at-arms next to us for God knows what reason, just like randomly built in the middle of nowhere. Like, it's random. It looks like it's a vent. I'm not really sure, but it's quite a cool looking vent. So anyway, we got about another 50 kilometres to go today, and at the rate PJ's cycling, we'll get there, you know, sometime today. Okay. She's worked out a way of keeping me with her. She's taken away my internet, so I can't actually ride off and leave her because I don't know where I'm going. She's finally worked out how to like suck the last little bit of enjoyment out of my life.
He thought he was on the hotel Wi-Fi, but it had stopped, so he just sucked all his data streaming through his mobile.
I'm saying that she did it to fool me. She turned it off. She's a meanie. A meanie.
So you won't believe this, when we bought these new bikes, Charlie convinced me to convert from the like air-free tires that I used to run, which it's impossible to get a flat. Like, you can run over glass, like you're absolutely bulletproof, and they last until they wear down to nothing, right? He said, you know, we should get these, you know, these touring tires, and they're just as good. You won't believe this, he's got a flat tire again. I don't know how many it's been, it's just crazy. Poor Charlie. I haven't had any, but he sure has. He's listening to stand-up comedy in his headset, so he's just laughing like a crazy man.
It blocks out the wine.
Hey, look, there's a reason why those tennis tyres haven't taken off, and the reason why is because it's like riding on a rock, you know. You feel every single tiny bump. You know, pneumatic tyres are definitely more comfortable. Definitely more comfortable, and, you know, fixing tyres is not hard. It's, you know, annoying, but not hard. And the reason PJ doesn't get the punches is because she weighs less than half what I do. You know, that's why. It's really cool. Every time you go into a town here, there's always something to market when you're leaving the countryside and going into the town. It gives a sense of arrival. And this one's got these old gates. In a fairly nondescript town, this is pretty cool. And by nondescript town, in Europe and Germany and all that, they're all pretty great. They're all very clean, very ordered, extremely well put together. This is the accommodation we stayed in, and as you can see, it's very good. It was upstairs and it was completely self-check-in, even though it was a hotel, so we never saw anybody from the whole time we were there. Good view.
I planned this route on the fastest path with the most affordable accommodation.
Yesterday we did a wee wander of 75 kilometres which was great, and we had a great time. The route wasn't that picturesque because we were mainly away from the river. We did sort of angle back to it a few times. And today we have a tiny little meander through the German countryside of 65 kilometers. So, you know, we set off, it's about 10 o'clock. It's cold, but it's not raining, which is an upside. And there's patches of blue sky. I mean, I don't want to overcomplicate it. I'm sure it will rain this afternoon, but at the moment the weather's not looking too bad. We're on our way.
And are we on track to get to the bike shop in time in Amsterdam?
We're on track to get to the bike shop on time in Amsterdam. We'll have to say goodbye to my bike, and you know, it's definitely going to be at the bike shop like 3 to 4 weeks. So we're contemplating me buying like a 3-speed bike and continuing on either to Normandy or to Paris or something like that for another tour, just a small tour while we're waiting. But yeah, I'll buy a junker bike, which I'll definitely fall in love with and never want to leave, in Amsterdam, more than likely.
You know, at the beginning of this ride, we did 39 kilometres, I think, on the first day, and I was completely rooted. Now we're pushing out 80-kilometre rides, and we really, you know, you could do a lot more. It's just we want to have a good time, not ride too fast. So you really get your fitness up pretty quickly, and we enjoy it a lot more than when we started. It's terrible to have a break. So, you know, when we're getting rid of the bikes, we're probably going to have a break or continue it with some a second-hand cycle. Because, you know, if you have a break, it's so much harder to get back on the bike. You know, the regular every day is so much better than having long breaks. The bike paths, of course, are fantastic in this whole section, so there was no complaints at all, either in the Germany section or the Amsterdam section. They were mainly completely divided. They were great.
We stopped for a pastry break in Verburg, and it's a wonderful pastry shop. It's very good. I put it up there with French. And we've got 48 kilometres to go. It's a lovely day. Sun looks like it's come back out again. So that'll be wonderful.
We've stopped at a place that reminds me of Bunnings in Australia. It's just as large and just as popular. Now poor Charlie has to pump up his tyres again. There's Charlie.
I'll let yours down.
Oh, you let mine down, will you? So while he's doing that, I'm going to show you, and especially my mother, what sort of plants they have here in Germany. It's a little bit different to other parts of the world. Those will be familiar. And then looking over here. Look at these ones.
One of the things about cycling in Germany, and also even more so in the Netherlands, is everything is perfect. Like, you don't see any rubbish. You don't see any hedges that aren't trimmed. You don't see anything that's out of place. Everything is perfect. It's almost like sickening in its conformity. And we wonder what would actually happen if somebody decided not to mow their lawn or not trim their hedges. You know, do you get fined, or does your neighbours come and do it for you? Because it seems so unlikely that everybody just does it, you know. And even the public spaces are like very well taken care of, more so than anywhere else we've ever been. It's really lovely, and it shows you what a community can be. And you know, we go to other places in the world where, you know, garbage is just everywhere and people don't seem to respect the commons at all, and it's very disheartening. But you can definitely not say that about Germany or Amsterdam.
A tractor made out of hay bales must be very exciting when you're in the middle of nowhere and you don't get out much. Lucky for us, we don't get out much, so that's really cool.
A freewheeling Charlie is a happy Charlie.
You know, the other thing as well is you're never far away from a settlement, but sometimes, you know, it feels very, some of the places you go through feel very wild, you know. So they do a fantastic job of still letting you have a sense of the country, even though you're really just riding between settlements that are only a couple of kilometres apart.
Oh my God, the terror, the horror. PJ was riding along and a bug sat on her face. And my God, it was like, she's going to write a book. I won't spoil the gender, but let me tell you, it was terrifying. And it was like, you know, legendary in the fear and the excitement. Oh, of course, I'm in trouble because I didn't stop straight away. I did turn around and ride back, but that was not quick enough.
You need to get the bug off my face.
Yeah, the bug, which flew away, you know. But still, there's a book in it. I'm telling you, there's a book.
Anyway, how's the riding? Like, I'm going to just pan across here.
The road's very good, and we're having plenty of time to look at it because PJ's decided to be very leisurely today. Very leisurely. You know, there was a bit where I changed my tyre while I was still riding, and we were going that slow.
We definitely want to come back and do the loop of the Netherlands. It is, you know, 1,400 kilometres, and it's all on bike path, and we want to do it next year. And maybe we'll find a place that doesn't conform with the beauty of everywhere else. But I think we're not going to be surprised. I think it's going to be wonderful the whole way around. It's definitely the national character. We're still in Germany at the moment. I'm thinking, how much better can it be when we go to the Netherlands? Well, we're about to find out, because there was definitely got better as we went into the Netherlands.
Look at that landscape. This is absolute cycling paradise.
We've arrived. We've arrived. Yeah. You didn't believe we were going to get here, but we got here. G'day everybody. Today is our last day riding before we reach Amsterdam, and it's a beautiful day. It's really turned it on for us. We stayed at a hotel last night, which is at the back of a pub, and the pub is kind of burnt down, so that was interesting. It didn't burn down last night, it's just burnt down previously. So you know, they're renovating it and doing it up. So it's a beautiful day today, and PJ's found a new sort of accommodation option in the Netherlands, which is Friends of Cyclists. So we're going to try that in a couple of days' time, and it seems like it's a really great resource. We've got a long day today. We've got about 80 kilometres to ride, but it looks like a glorious day, so I'm looking forward to it. PJ's resigned to it, which is about as good as it gets.
This is the last night of our trip and of this adventure, and it's kind of bittersweet, you know, because I've enjoyed not having any complexity. You know, we're just racing against time, heading to Amsterdam, but it would also be nice to actually stop and have a look around on occasion.
This cycling looks idyllic, but as we'll show you in the next episode, the wind in the Netherlands is very, very different depending on where you are. Right now we're in the central Netherlands area, more so towards the east, and it's very nice. Also, apps like mappy.cz are so much better than Google Maps in complex cycling infrastructure networks like this. Forget that and use Google Maps at your peril.
Okay, this is a technical term, but we've been PJ'd. So this is supposed to be a bridge, and as you can see, the bridge is out. And we think it's a ferry now, but it's written in German and we're not 100% sure. So we're just going to hang around and see if a ferry turns up. But this is a technical term, PJ'd. Okay, I feel the PJ curse is fully awakened. I'm assuming the boat goes there and there's no boat. We've waited here half an hour, we've seen no boat, even though it says every 15 minutes. So I've given up hope, and there's a really big, I want to say the F word, bridge over there in the distance. So we're going to try and get across there, dodging death and trucks and everything like that. But this is a PJ route, so what can we expect? Completely PJ.
I tried to call them as well, but it's just an answering machine message. So although the ferry service is supposed to run until the 31st of October, you might want to double check ferries in regional Germany.
This is one of the things we found in the bike paths in the Netherlands as well, that they definitely are used for commuting. So you can get on these commuter highways, which, you know, go direct to places. And so there's no messing around or anything like that. It's like you're on a highway and you're going from point A to point B, and it's really great for bike riders. Because, you know, there's always this thing in most countries where if you're on a bike, you're not in a hurry to get anywhere. Well, we didn't find that in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, they have those bike paths, but they also have the bike paths where they're saying, okay, you're going to work, you're going to school, you're going to your job. Let's get you there as quickly as possible, and let's make it that you're the most important user on the road, not the car, which is just amazing. This is one thing that PJ and I always have a bit of criticism about. PJ likes to eat in restaurants and cafes, where I like to get something takeaway and eat it in nature, either in a park or in a field somewhere. But you know, it's constant conversation, because she knows I would eat there every time. I would rather eat outside every day.
It's a slow day today. I don't know if this is just because PJ wants to, you know, fully enjoy the last day of riding before the busyness and the chaos of Amsterdam. But it is a bit of a slow day. So it's about 2 o'clock and we've come about halfway, which usually would be further along.
We're about to cross the border.
Yeah, we're about to cross the border into the Netherlands. So our trip is certainly winding to an end. Also, I got in trouble because I bought PJ too much food for lunch. And somehow I made her eat it. And now she's got to sort tum-tums. Obviously all my fault. The Kraken's coming up. You know, you did this to me. You made me eat it. You know, so anyway, you know, many things change, but most things stay the same.
Sometimes cycling is a pleasure, and you need to really take the time to enjoy your scenery, your surroundings, taking in the smells of flowers, looking at the trees, looking at the architecture, trying not to get hit by trucks, and generally enjoying yourself. It's something I'm hoping that Charles will one day awaken in his own heart. For now, it's the scent of a bakery and the waft of temptation that leads him to stop and appreciate his surroundings.
Hi, we've got about 25 k's to go until we reach our hotel. We crossed the border from Germany into the Netherlands without any fanfare. The border isn't even really marked anymore, so it was a bit of an anticlimax, but we're here now. Probably the first thing that you notice crossing across the border is that although cycling in Germany is world-class, outstanding, there are a couple of little differences in the Netherlands. Particularly, it's really trippy that cars generally give way to bicycles at intersections. So the design of the intersections here are a little bit different, and I try to go at about 20 kilometers an hour. So it's really good to be able to continue through the intersections without having to stop all the time as you go through towns. Yeah, so far so good. 25 k's to go and the weather's fantastic.
It was pretty exciting to see our first Dutch windmill of this trip.
Here's an example of where you have an unsealed road and a sealed bike path. And let me tell you, we've seen this plenty of times where there was an unsealed road and there was sealed bike paths on either side of the unsealed road. Here it is again. And then you also notice there's quite a lot of roads in the Netherlands where they make the cars go in a single lane where the bike path on both sides is both ways. This here is, we stayed at a hotel that was run by the Salvation Army, and it was really excellent. The tariff was reasonable.
When I booked it, I had no idea it was run by the Salvos.
Hi.
I am Mr. Hunter. I'm from the hill.
And we also think that there might have been some, old people's home part of it as well, because there was quite a lot there if you had access issues. But it was a lovely hotel just on the outskirts of the Netherlands.
The restaurant was pretty good though. We noticed a couple of Salvation Army symbols and things in the foyer, but we didn't realise until we saw the gift shop.
It had bike washdown facilities. It also had secure bike storage and everything like that. Unsealed road, sealed bike path. You gotta love it. And deer, oh dear.
This is a beautiful one.
It is very beautiful. It's very nice. Mind you, most of the ones we've been past have been beautiful as well.
And today we're going to a place near a spy fortress, which is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PJ's very excited.
Yeah, I am.
I'm fairly old, but some of these didn't stop that long ago in production. I think this one stopped in like the 80s, which obviously it's not that long ago if you're my age. And PJ really wanted to go to this next town where we're going to stay. It's really just a thin strip of land surrounded by water, and the thin strip of land goes for about 5 kilometres. And there was a spy fortress which he really wanted to stay in, but it was closed at the moment. But I'm sure we'll have to go back and stay there again. And there seems to be a scattering of these across the Netherlands. We've seen them before in our other travels. And we ended up staying at a pub there, above a pub. It was really cool. And we went for walks, and it was just one road because it's just a thin strip of land amongst the water. But it was really lovely, and I'm glad she took us there. On the way, we went through a couple of really beautiful towns that, the footage does no justice to.
We just arrived in the beautiful village of Amersfoort. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. We just rode down over the moat, so the bridge over the moat, and this is the first street, and it's so gorgeous. It's amazing.
And we're going to the town
Just
square.
cute little houses and cobbled streets and lots of vegetation on the sides of the roads, and also only one car we've seen so far since we've come in.
I also ran into Grandmothers for the Environment, and I took their ear off for about half an hour until PJ saved them by dragging me away. Haven't really talked about why we're taking the bike back. I have this thing called a Pinion 18 gearbox, and we rode it for about 1,200 kilometres. It was fine. It has 18 gears, and they're all internal, and it's a belt drive. But then it developed a leak, and an oil leak, and even to take it off, you have to have a special tool. So we just decided, rather than go to Turkey, we just ride straight through and drop it off at the dealer where we bought it.
Ever since we started this channel, we've been trying to get to Turkey.
The dealer then will take it off and send it off to Pinion to be fixed under warranty, and then it'll come back. It would be quicker than that normally, but the dealer is closing the shop, which sounds like a European thing to do, and he's going off for his own bike tour in the Atacama Desert in South America. And we'll put in his his contact details in the description. Now, he only sells touring bikes, that's all he really does, and he's in Amsterdam, and he's been really great. Okay, none of this is criticism of him that we have to take the bike back. I mean, now you see every type of user using the bike pass here. I've got to say, from young to very old, from single bikes to people having their entire family on one bike. It's really shows you that even in a country where half the year it's freezing, we can really utilize bicycles a lot more than we do almost everywhere else in the world.
Welcome to Loosdrecht. Loosdrecht is a lake community with marshes and grasslands, and it's popular for boating and other water sports. We stayed in a room above this pub. It was really, really cute.
Of course, the Netherlands is also utilising boats really well as well, and they're everywhere. And they really have got locks and canals going right across the country. And don't think this is a new place, because that church was built in like the 1300s or something like that. It was very old.
PJ's a bit annoyed because it's raining.
Oh,
She doesn't like the rain.
no.
Look there, the water's right behind her, and if you look across the road, there's water there too. And there's water coming out of the sky. Let me tell you, there's water everywhere. Look at her. She's loving it.
All right, where are we going today? Where are we? We're at Loosdrecht.
We're at Loosdrecht, and we're on our way to Amsterdam, and the weather's turned itself on for us today. So we're very enthused that it's got a lovely little bit of liquid sunshine falling down upon us. You know, we've got the track to ourselves. We're just very lucky people. And we're completely surrounded by water. There's water on that side, there's water on that side, and there's water coming from the air. So, you know, Amsterdam's really turning it on for us. So we've got about 30k to go.
30k. We were supposed to be finished and arrive here, you know, yesterday to start the next adventure, but Charlie really didn't want to take the train. So we rode to this accommodation in order to be only, you know, 30 k's away from Amsterdam to ride through to the shop.
It's a constant battle to stop her from catching the train, let me tell you. Like every day, oh, let's catch the train, let's catch the train.
Right now, I have regrets because it's raining.
Even
So
today, she was like, let's catch the train. And I'm saying, why? It's a beautiful day.
he's not.
Okay, some of the infrastructure could be better. But look, the sun's out, all the rain's gone away, and we're having a beautiful ride in. Now, this is the Amsterdam Main Canal, and it was really great, like fantastic bike path, and nobody seems to talk about it. Maybe because it's a bit boring, but yeah, great. Eats the distance. Goes straight into Amsterdam, basically.
Okay, we've arrived in Amsterdam. Woohoo! And now we have to find a cheap second-hand bike so I can put my bike in to get repaired. We only need this bike for about 3 weeks, so we're trying to keep it below 100 euros. And we're on our way to one of the markets, and we've also gone to Facebook Marketplace and we've asked a couple of people about bikes, but we haven't heard back from them. So we're going to a flea market in the middle of Amsterdam, which supposedly has bikes. Here's PJ locking her bags. We're in Amsterdam, as you can see. Amsterdam. And we're going to up there where there's a flea market. We might be able to get a cheap second-hand bike. I don't think we will, but I think we could.
We didn't end up getting the bike at the flea market. The cheapest sort of bike we could find there was like 130 euros, which was more than I wanted to pay. I ended up buying a bike off Marketplace for 75 euros.
I love Amsterdam. It's the only place that you get bicycle traffic jams and you struggle to get a park. We struggled to get a park, so we parked illegally over here. The bikes are kissing.
Old bike, new bike. Da 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 da. What are you gonna call it, Charlie?
I'm gonna call it It'll Do.